I'm coming. I'm trying to minimize so I can move. Sorry, I've lost control of my slide. Can we see the slide? Are we seeing the slide?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes.
we can see it. We can see
How
it.
come I'm not seeing it? It's me that is not seeing it now.
We are seeing it.
I'm not seeing my
Thank
slide.
you. Let's see
Okay,
slide.
okay, I'm seeing it now. I'm trying to minimize this. Okay, now presentation skill, 2 skills. Before your presentation, before any presentation, you have to prepare for your presentation. Preparation is one of the key. After preparing for your presentation, you must practice. Practice presentation before the presentation day. Next, design visuals. You must design different visuals. Your slide must be full with pictures. Like it should not be more of words. So you design visuals, even in your head as you're presenting. You try to imagine the thing you're presenting so that it will help you deliver properly. Then the next one is you deliver. While delivering, you must be able to handle what? Nervousness. You must use the visuals properly and you must also be able to what? Handle what? Questions. These are basically the basic cycle of presentation. You must prepare, you must practice, you must design visuals, you must be able to deliver, you must be able to handle nervousness, and you must be able to use what? The visuals you've designed and handle what? Questions. Now, work plan. General principles for effective presentation. First, individual presentation. Carry out what? Individual presentation. You're having seminar to maybe next week, and up till now, you've not presented to yourself. You've not sat down and maybe face your mirror and present to yourself. Definitely, your seminar presentation may not go well because the flaws, the wrong pronunciation, and the other things you encounter, you've not been able to figure it out. So you must practice individual presentation. After your individual presentation, you have to do a review. If you can do a record of your presentation, that would be nice. Record yourself presenting. After your presentation, sit back, play your presentation, read it, listen to it, read through what you've said and everything, and you have definitely you're going to create reviews. Oh, I didn't do well this part. Okay, I think I was nervous at this part. Those are things that help you. After that, you do a second presentation again. Do a second presentation to yourself, present very well, or maybe this second presentation can be to a family or a friend, one person. Present to that one person, take back reviews. Then you can do what they call group presentation. As a group, as a class, you can set up a mini presentation, present as a group, review your presentations as a group, get criticism for your group members, then you wrap it all up and you're set to go for the main presentation. In presentation, one major factor, one thing you can't take away from every presentation or every public speaking is anxiety. Even the best of the best feels anxious initially. Anxiety is a friend of every presentation, every public speaking. Like you have in this cartoon here, you see the presenter or the MC announced the man for the speech. He came up and he's filled with anxiety. You can see here he's shaking. He can't even read out what he wrote. And at the end of the day, they had to escort him out. They say that was her lieutenant first speech. First speech before an audience. You see how his first speech before an audience went. So as far as we are concerned, that may be his last speech. Because why? He didn't prepare for anxiety. So anxiety is part of our presentation. It's part of every public speaking. So we must prepare for what? Anxiety. Now, the business of communication. Communication business is very easy. Just see communication as a business, of which presentation is the main business. Now, when you talk about the business of communication, you have to figure out one, reporting. Your reporting or your training, influencing your views. You sell idea, you influence your view. First, you report your view, you train people on your view, you influence your view, you sell ideas, you present facts, you express opinions, you're making proposal, or updating an audience. All these are communication, business communication. It's either you're reporting an issue, or you're training people, or you're influencing maybe a product. Like some of those of us that are social media influencer is presentation. It's either you're influencing a product, or you're selling an idea to someone, or you're presenting facts, or you're expressing an opinion, or you're making a proposal, like many of us will be doing our project proposal, or you're updating an audience on something. All these are what? Communication business. They are all business communication. Now, strategy and style. Strategy, style, and structure in presentation. Know your strategy. For the style, how you present. What style of presentation do you want to do? Do you want to, when they say style of presentation, is it like you're going to face an audience, or is it an online presentation like the one I'm doing? You need to know the style of the presentation. You need to know the structure. Is it formal? The structure, what you present, what you're presenting, is it in a formal gathering or an informal gathering? So the structure of your presentation help you to define the keywords and the vocabularies you use. For example, let's assume I want to do a formal presentation like I'm doing now to students. There are certain words I'm not supposed to use, unlike when I'm presenting to a friend or to my social media followers. So you need to know the structure of your presenting, what you're presenting. Now, in question and answer section, every presentation is drafted this way. In question and answer section, you have to be what? Confident enough to respond. Don't rush into responding to questions. Try to articulate questions, assimilate them, and assimilate first, articulate, and respond to them with confidence. The confidence with which you respond to questions determine how you handle your anxiety and everything. Under strategy, understand the purpose and objective or role. When we talk about strategy, first you need to understand the purpose and the objective. For us, we'll be presenting our research work. So first thing in presenting a seminar or research work, you need to know your purpose, which is your main aim. What do you intend to achieve with this research? What do I intend to achieve? What is my aim of this research? What are my objectives? And we know aim is the broad goal, while objective are the what? Step down goals on achieving the major goal, which is your aim. For example, I want to prepare egusi soup. That's my major goal. My objectives now will be: one, going to the market to purchase the items needed for the egusi. Two, making sure that my gas or whatever my cooking utensils are well arranged, including the gas. There's enough gas in my gas cylinder. The fire is well set. My pots are clean. The kitchen is set for my cooking. Four, okay, that's one objective. Second objective, the next objective can be timing. At what time should I add my egusi? At what time should I steam my meat? First, we all know the first thing is to steam my meat. So I have to steam my meat properly with the right ingredient and everything. You see, the major aim is what? Cooking the egusi. But I have to break it down to different steps, down to the final cooking of the egusi. So that's me understanding my objective, my purpose. When you can break it, when you know your objective, your purpose, you know how to go about your what? Presentation. Now, logicality, simplicity, and clarity. Try to use logical terms, simple terms. Be very simple and be very clear. For example, you're doing a presentation to your lecturers like you'll be doing your seminar. And maybe your seminar is on, let's say your seminar is on health hazard or something connecting to medical terms, the medical line. And you start bombarding us with medical terms, or because you're working maybe in let's say because you're working in I don't use research institute. Let's say you're working as an engineer in the engineering field, and your work is somehow related. Instead of coming down to simple terms where you know your audience can understand, you just start bombarding us with things like those engineering machine, engineering vocabulary. You end up not carrying us along. So automatically you're killing your what? presentation. So a good presentation must be logical, it must be simple, and it must be what? Clear. Audience research. Who, needs, interest, knowledge, level, and attitude. First, you must know who are your audience. Who are my audience? Who am I speaking to? Am I speaking to my age mates? Am I speaking to people in my field of study? Am I speaking to people that are outside my field of study? Who are my anticipated audience? You need to know your audience. Your audience will determine the vocabulary you use, the simplicity of your presentation, and the logicality of your what? Presentation. Next one, the need. What are the need of my audience? Your lecturers are seated there and you're about to present your seminar on your research. Our need is we want to know what you intend to do and how you intend to carry out your research. So if you come and start telling us things that are outside this need or in an interest, let me take need and interest together, that are outside our need and interest, you're taking us off balance, and you end up not giving a good presentation because you end up piling more questions and questions for yourself. Like if you've experienced where students do presentation, you see most times major question people keep asking is, what do you intend to do? Is because they fail to understand the need of their audience. The need of your audience for academic purpose is, what is your aim and objective? What do you intend to do? What science project science problem are you trying to solve? Or what environmental problem do you want to solve? And how do you intend to solve them? Next one is interest. You want to make a presentation on environmental hazard, and maybe your audience are mechanics, or let's say engineers. You see that the interest is different. So know the interest of your what? Audience. If your audience are academians, your lecturers, you know their interest is in what? The academic aspect. You getting paper from it or getting a patent from it, you solving this problem that are feasible for academic study, for intellectual discourse. You don't have to start bugging them with things that are of their interest. For example, talking about how much revenue government will generate from it. Nobody is interested, like in the academy, we're not interested in the revenue generated from it. What we're interested in is the patent and the paper you get from it, and the science, the chemistry, the physics, the basic science principles you are applying to your work. So if you come and start giving us only the policy part, the government area, you see that you're taking us totally off balance. So know the interest of your what? Audience. Knowledge level. Know the knowledge level of your audience. If you are asked to make a presentation to secondary school students and you start presenting as if you're presenting to your lecturers, you take your audience off balance. You end up making a what? Bad presentation. So you must know the knowledge level of your audience so that you don't take your audience totally off point. Attitude. Also know the right attitude you give. You're giving a presentation, and because you had a fight with your wife, you start giving attitude to your presentation. Every little hand or gestures of your audience piss you off, and you start asking, wait, it's not like question time. Why is this one moving like this? No, you have to keep the right presentation attitude. The last one is the goal. Your goal is to what? Motivate, to inform, to teach. At every time you're doing a presentation, please put this at the back of your heart. My goal is to what? Motivate. My goal is to inform. My goal is to persuade. My goal is to teach. And my goal is to what? Sell. If you're giving an academic presentation, you know you have to what? Inform us, teach us, and persuade us, because we have our questions. If you're doing a presentation to market a product, you know your goal is to sell. So even if our gesture is giving this, are you sure you're saying the right thing? It's not your business. Your goal is to sell. Keep fighting. Try to persuade us. Try to motivate us. Try to influence us. Try to convince us to what? Buy. So having your goal at the back of your mind in every presentation will help you to stay what? Focus. Now, design a presentation. we have a form and concept. When you want to do presentation, make sure you first of all sit on your own. That's where Dr. Michael will come in. Where you design your PowerPoint, you must design your presentation. You must, when designing your presentation, you must make good use of visuals. Like if you see in my presentation, the second slide of my presentation, anxiety. You see, I explain anxiety with visual. I don't have to come and start explaining to you. Anxiety is that fear. You can see in this slide how it was shaking. This anxiety, this visual alone, this presentation, this picture has explained to you what anxiety can do to what a presentation. So you see the importance and use of visuals. Imagine me writing all what I've been saying very long. I don't do all this block and PowerPointing, uh, let's say, point slides. It will get boring. Many of you just copy your Word document, your project Word document, and just paste on your PowerPoint. It kills presentation. It kills the fluency. It kills the clarity of your presentation because you're just bombarding your audience with too much information. Let your voice do the talking. Let your slide just be a pictorial pictures, a pictorial representation of what you intend to give. Short bullet points. That's how to do great presentation. That's why I say make good use of what? Visuals. Deliver with confidence, persuasive, deliver with confidence, persuasive, result-oriented presentation. When you're presenting, be confident of what you're presenting. Be persuasive. You're presenting a proposal. Believe in yourself that research will work. Believe in yourself that whatever you're presenting is 100% correct. If you don't believe in yourself, you can't be persuasive. You use words that will make us believe that, make your audience believe that yes, what you're saying is right, even when you're saying the wrong thing. Use persuasive words and make sure you are result oriented. Don't just talk and talk and talk without giving results. For example, I want to present on production of nano metals, for example. I should be able to tell you, oh, Professor Unamonu, okay, let me say Unamonu Eta, 2006, use this method and got this result. David Eta, use this method and got this result. Share Eta, use this method and got this result. You see, I'm being result oriented. I'm showing you results that what people have done. I'm giving you result of this, of my presentation or my research, that so persons have done this, they've used this method. Have definitely be confident in me that, oh, if this man knows that this person have done this and this is the result, this person also applied this method and got this result.
We can't hear you again. Please, we can't hear you again.
Hello, are we all here?
Are with you, sir.
Hello.
We
Okay,
are
Yes,
with you, sir.
sorry.
I will
Okay,
give you
okay.
again.
So now you see the importance of having a result-oriented presentation. When you cite people, example of past work and the result of past work in your research, you see you can reap from those results. You reap a lot of benefit from their work. Everybody will be convinced that yes, if you know that A, B, C, D, Unamona have done it, Eshe have done it, Prof. Shatso have done it, let's say Romans, Thomas have done it,
We are
David
not
have
seeing the
done it,
slide
and
again.
hello.
Sir, we can't see the
We're not
sharing
seeing the
again.
slide. The slide has gone.
Okay,
The
let me
slide has
share.
gone.
Okay, I'm coming. Are we seeing it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you're confident, use persuasive and result-oriented presentation, you reap from the benefit because it's just like selling a product. That's why you see people that sell organic skincare. Note something, they use fair people for their advertisements, is it not? Because results convince people. Most times they've not seen the people they use for their advert don't even use those cream, but they'll bring a fair person who will hold the organic cream and say, "Why buy this cream if you want to glow?" They don't use dark people to advertise their cream. They use what? Fair people, because everybody believes in what? Results. That is them benefiting from what? The fair influencer they are using. So also in your research presentations, you must cite sources, cite people who have done things similar to your work and have reaped from it and had sources in it. That's why citing people are important. That's what this delivery with confidence, persuasive, and result-oriented presentation is all about. Now you have to make your presentation simple, logic, clear, and what? Natural. Your presentation must have simplicity. It must be logical, it must have clarity, and it must have naturalness. It must be what? Natural. Knowledge retention checklist. Now, 10% of what they read. Everybody retains 10% of what they read. You must know this. Everybody retains what? 10% of what we read. We retain 20% of what we hear. We retain 30% of what we see, and 70% of what we see and hear. You see the importance of visuals. Imagine me now teaching without showing this slide. You're not going to like flow well, but you seeing the slide, you're hearing my voice. That is 100%. That is 70% you're retaining of everything. At the end of this presentation, I assure you 70% of what we present today will be in your head because you're seeing and you're what? Hearing. But when you pack words, you just copy your project work, you fill your presentation slide with words, it's only 10% of what we read we retain. That's why when you read, you need to read and read and read and read again. They'll tell you when you read, you talk. If you notice, good people, for you to retain, I don't know about you, but for me, when I read, I say it back to myself. And as I'm reading and saying it back to myself, I'm retaining it because why? 20% of what I hear, I retain. 10% of what I read, I retain. Now, reading gives me 10% of the stuff. Saying it back to myself gives me 20% of it. Looking at the book with my eyes is giving me 30%. Now looking and saying it back to me is 70%. So if you have this knowledge that everybody retains 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, I assure you when preparing your presentation, put this into consideration. Make sure your presentation are what? More of what? Visuals, because the seeing carries what? A large proportion of retention. That's why you see news or newscasters, CNN, radio, even lectures. We try to give you visual views of the thing. You see a news, maybe they are reading the news on what government have said. Do you think it's stupid of them to go back to show you maybe a video shot or a video clip of when government were enacting those rules? Sometimes they just show you how the House of Assembly members are seated and how maybe the Senate president hits what's that thing they normally carry that judges hits the bar and say the
The gavel.
have it. Now all those things, you said what?
It's the
Practice.
gavel, the gavel.
Yes, you see them showing you those visuals for you to be able to retain that news. But imagine they just read and say, oh, today the government of the day has enacted a law that all, okay, let's say the Vice Chancellor of Uni has enacted a law that all ENS students are to report online for online lectures. Many of you may not get that news. Yes, you hear it, but you quickly forget it. But if, for example, they just started, and there's a video showing students online in their laptop, and the lecturer maybe in his convenience with his laptop, and they're interacting, seeing themselves on the screen, and they said, wow, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Agriculture has made compulsory online lectures for students of environmental sustainability. Online lectures, you'll be shocked that even when you forget, like you say, what was that in the announcement? So you just remember the picture of a man on his laptop teaching people from different locations on their laptop will just come to your head immediately, and you say, yes, so they say lectures will be what? Online. What you see, you retain 30%. What you hear, you retain 20%. And what you read, you retain 10%. Let this guide us when we make our presentations. Now, when selecting your visuals, be specific, and your visual should be specific and necessary. You're doing a presentation, for example, on heavy metal, and you start, let me say you want to synthesize, since we are all academic, or let me not use academic term, let me just go to a simple thing. Okay, I want to do a presentation on organic soap. Now, I'm thinking of visuals to use. First visuals that should come to my head, that should be specific. Soap, soap, soap. Pictures of what? Soap. Is it a bar soap or a liquid soap? I should be able to think of those pictures. But imagine I want to do picture on soap, and I'm doing a visual that is just showing the process of making soap. You understand? It's just showing someone turning something, and I start talking soap can be, it doesn't make sense. But if I show a picture of a bar soap, you see that's me being specific and what necessary, and it is what necessary. It's not just carrying maybe someone making liquid soap. Yes, it's showing green and the woman is stirring it. Not everybody that comes will say, oh, this is a liquid soap. But if I put on the top, even without writing soap, I just put a sample of Money Fresh and maybe any bar soap, and I start talking about organic soap, showing a mixture, nobody will come and say, is it tea this person is making? Because those picture of soap being there, the bar soap and the liquid soap, has already fine-tuned everybody's mind that whatever you're seeing here, whatever other pictures, whatever thing is going on is what? Production of what? Soap. Now, if I have a fair person, a fair lady holding the soap, automatically I'm telling you that that soap what makes your skin what? Bright and what? Glow. But imagine me now, I'm trying to talk on soap that makes your skin bright and glow, and maybe the picture I'm showing is a bar soap on a black SUV car. You see, it is useless. So that's why your picture must be what? Specific and what? Necessary. Two, it must be stimulating. It must stimulate interest. I'm doing a presentation on organic soap. I use a fair lady holding a soap, a fair lady producing the soap, a fair lady selling the soap. I'm stimulating the interest of what? My audience. That if you want to look like this lady, we know their interest is what? Their skin glowing and them being fair. But if I want to talk about maybe organic soap, and my visuals are maybe a dark lady making soap, and a dark lady carrying the soap into a black SUV car, I'm not stimulating anyone's interest. It may be that that lady is not the one using the soap. She's taking the soap to someone who will use it. And the soap, yes, the soap makes someone's fair and glow. But I'm using the wrong word, visuals. So your visuals must be what? Stimulated. Must stimulate the interest of your what? Audience. Thirdly, it must be suitable and imaginative. Your visual should be something that when someone sees, they can imagine the next step. They can imagine what the next step is. Something that when you see it, you just imagine what this person is presenting. For example, I want to present on a dump site on earth hazard of okay, let's say poor waste management. And the first picture I bring to your head, let me say a picture of Urukum, that bridge area, as cars are passing. I just show you that bridge and you see the dump close to River Benue. Automatically, your head, your imagination goes to, oh, waste are poorly what managed. But if I bring picture of IPES, that's a waste dump site where they have different rubbers, solid waste, and I'm talking about waste management, I just bring that one first to your head. And I want to talk about the poor waste management in our country. You see that you lose interest because I'm just showing you a well-managed waste. So your next thought will be, and so this waste is being managed. So what do you want to tell me? But if I show you that Urukum area, a very bad dump site, with the rice mill being close by, this is food we eat. Look at where they are doing rice. Look at where they are slaughtering animals that we buy, meat we eat. Look at big dump sites. Look at river where we fetch our fish. Look at river where people get water to bathe. I've stimulated your head to, oh, there's a problem. Waste must be managed. You see, I've suitably stimulated interest in you and I've brought you to imagination. You start thinking, oh, this is where they catch fish. Oh, how can we manage this waste? Even before my presentation, you're already thinking of different way. Okay, what if they build a barricade to prevent this dump for falling into the river? What if we mount police? Anybody that dumps, what if we put a fan to dump it? What if we chase those people doing rice mill close to the river bank, away from the river bank? What, you see, I've triggered an imaginative thought in you. That's why you need to make sure your visuals triggers imagination. Your visual should be what? Imaginative. Fourthly, your visual should be simple but essential. I'm not asking you to go and design very wonderful, tough cartoon. It can be very simple, as for example, you want to do your methodology. You can use simple bars, this square box with arrows, to make your methodology very easy. From this step, I go to this step, to this step, to this step. Instead of writing long, this will be added and this will be added, you can just say, oh, sample preparations. Then you put few things, washing, drying, you understand? You just make it so nice. Then from there, you draw an arrow. These are simple visuals. So synthesis. Oh, now we know, okay, let's just say you're working on leave. First thing, you show a picture of procurement. Maybe just show a man cutting leaf. The first thing is to what? Procure the leaf, cut the leaf from the farm. Next thing, leaf preparation, and you just show them washing the leaf and drying it. The next one, you just use simple arrow. You don't have to make it so complex. You don't have to use complex visual. When you start thinking, okay, let me try to get the structure of sodium hydroxide so that when I put it, you'll now see that those are complex visuals. So make sure your visuals are simple and essential. Then they should be colorful. Everybody likes beautiful colors. Imagine I come and I'm presenting and my slides are not colorful. If you can see my slide, you have the blue color, you have the yellow color, you have the white color. If I'm using just all black and white, sometimes it gets boring. Make sure your slides are colorful. And when we say colorful, make sure you can manage your what? Colors. Lastly, it should be humorous. It should be funny. Try to make sure your slides are a bit, your pictures, your visuals are a bit, something that will trigger this smile in people's face, something that will make people like feel relaxed and a bit comfortable, and something that is what? Realistic. Don't say, oh, I want to make them laugh. Like if you notice the cartoon, when you saw that man presenting and shaking, it's more of, it's fun and it's also what? Engaging and intriguing. So make sure your slides are real, and it's real. Let's go back to that slide. Let me show you. You see, this is real. This is what happens in most presentation. You see people, if you notice, he was not crying. He didn't cry out, but he was shaking and he was sweating profoundly. And I assure you that stage has a lot of AC. Now, you see, when looking at it, you want to trigger you to laugh. It makes you relax. It makes you... So this is a kind of visual you should use. Organizing your presentation. Classify your presentation into 1, supporting, supporting ideas, and what main ideas. Your supporting ideas are the major thing you run around with to help your main idea, the main thing you want to sell. Like I was making an example with the organic cream. The main idea for the person trying to sell that organic cream to you is for you to buy the cream. That's his main idea, buy. Now, me bringing a fair person, all these are supporting ideas. You see a fair lady holding the cream. I'm trying to support you to tell you that when you buy it, you will be fair. Everything, my main goal is for you to what? Buy. And the main goal is when you buy it, you will be what? Fair. I bring in all those visuals, maybe a lady, a fair lady producing the cream. It sells to you that this cream makes people fair. Buy it. So supporting ideas must be used. Supporting ideas ought to be used, and supporting ideas could be used. Then no, introduction. Your introduction should be the action word desire. Follow logical word sequence. In your introduction, don't start by introducing too much. Your introduction should not be too long. Your introduction in every presentation should be the word action you desire, what you intend to do, what, just make it your introduction. For example, you want to work on waste management of management of solid waste. Your introduction should be places where solid waste, the dangers of what improper management of solid waste. You don't need to start giving us things by coming to tell me what management is all about, what solid waste is all about. Sometimes in your write-up, you can do all those to buy words, but in your presentation, you don't have to come kill me with those things. It should be the action you desire. And you must follow what? Logical what? Sequence. Introduction, statement of problem, like that. Down to your conclusion. Your conclusion should be reiterate actions. Your conclusion should be a summary of all your actions, everything. And two, you must check your duration, know your time, and work within your what? Time limits. Steps involved in presentation. Steps involved in presentation. The first step involved in presentation is what? Your objectives of your presentation. That's why in every presentation, you say these are the outline for this presentation. You must spell out the objective, the outlines, all you intend to achieve in your presentation. Two, collect relevant facts. Collect relevant facts. Know your objective of your presentation. Know all you want to say. Spell out your objective, what you aim to achieve. Then the next one, you collect what? Relevant facts. Make sure whatever you are bringing is relevant to your objective. If it's egusi soup you want to cook, you want to sell at, how to prepare egusi soup. When you collect relevant facts now will be, how can one purchase egusi for the market? How do one get the egusi? How can one get a pot? How can one set up the kitchen? What and what should be added? What quantity of salt these are informations you should collect before you start explaining to people on egusi. Because you can't come and tell people on how to prepare egusi without telling them the market where they can purchase the egusi or where they can purchase water. So collect relevant facts. Thirdly, audience analysis. Analyze your what? Audience. Know your audience. Know the people you're speaking to. Two, organize your content. Organize the content of your talk. Know the content of your talk. Organize it such that from A, you're moving to B, you're moving to C. Not from A to D, from D to B, from B to C. Make sure it's A, B, C, D. It follows a what? Sequence. Two, practice at home. We cannot over-exaggerate the word practice. Practice cannot be over-exaggerated. So practice it is compulsory. They say practice what makes perfect. Thirdly, arrange your venue. You're about to go make a presentation, for example, at a Senate building. You, the presenter, must be there before every of your audience. Try to go there before your audience. Walk down to the place, stand where you are supposed to stand, arrange yourself properly. Make sure sometimes you may not be privileged to be the one to arrange the venue. But when we say arrange your venue, visually arrange your venue. Go there, look at your audience. Okay, these are the people, these are where people are going to sit. The vice chancellor definitely is going to sit here. These are where my vice chancellor, principal officers are going to sit. These are where the other people are going to sit. So now this is how you arrange your venue. You position yourself. You know, maybe if you sit facing the vice chancellor and the principal officers, it's going to cause nervousness for you. You tell yourself, okay, I'm not going to face them. I'm going to face this other audience. You're making the presentation of your research proposal. You know your lecturers are going to sit in front. Okay, when presenting, I'm not going to focus my eyes on my lecturers. I'll focus on my eyes on my colleagues, because seeing my colleagues, I believe I'm talking to my colleagues. I'm not going to be nervous. That's me arranging my what venue. You can even talk to some friends. Hey, I beg you guys should sit at this strategic place. Oh, you can arrange your colleagues, those that are your friends. This is our presentation. Please just sit immediately above, behind the lecturers, please, so that my eyes will be glued to you people. While my lecturer think I'm looking at them, I'm actually looking at you people. Or you can tell them, oh, please sit in between the lecturers, so that I'll be confident enough. Arrange your what audience. That's all about arranging your venue. Now, preparation for your presentation. Identify your what objective. Research about your audience. Most times people go to give presentation without researching about their audience. When preparing for your presentation, you must research about your what audience. It's very important. I call, for example, Francis, I want you to go to Abuja and make presentation for me. You say, okay, sir, what you're going to present is your research work. Please, there's a conference in Abuja. You go and make presentation for me. You just say, no problem, sir. And you start reading your research. Oh, this is this. You might end up going there and failing. Because one, in preparation, first thing you're supposed to ask me, sir, sorry, what's this conference all about? Who are my anticipated audience? Because it may be to secondary school children, and you're prepared. Oh, you've written some good vocabulary. You've said, okay, I'm not going to use the word prepare, I'll use the word synthesize. I won't use the results from the computer. We use the spectrograph or the chromatogram. And these people you're going to present to don't even know what a chromatogram is. And you go there, the chromatogram shows that this is I. According to the AS value, this is this. According to IPM standard, according to ASTM standard. And these people don't even know what ASPM standard is all about. You see that you've not done a good word presentation. So when preparing for presentation, know your audience. Knowing your audience helps you to choose your vocabulary. It helps you to choose the scope of your presentation. It helps you to choose how you present, the mannerism, the attitude you give. Next one, choose logical structures. Make sure whatever you're doing is logical. Think of real examples. Just as I'm teaching presentation skill, I'm trying to think of real example using the organic cream, using social media influencing as a pure example, using proposal. You're going to do a proposal defense in school facing your lecturers as an example. So you have to use real example. You don't use example of something that happened in Superman or something that happened in all these fiction movies as an example. No, those are not real. Use real example, real life situation. Now, anticipate questions. As you're presenting, like as I'm talking to you now, I'm bringing out questions that you might possibly ask me, and I'm trying to see what answer I should give to you. So when preparing your presentation, oh, if I say this, my audience might likely ask me why this, what is this, how come this. So you must anticipate what questions. It's very vital you anticipate what questions. Design visual aids. You can design visual aids to answer questions. For example, if you ask me what is anxiety, I can just show you the first slide of that man shaking, and you know what anxiety is all about. Rehearse, learn, open sentence. Rehearse and learn open your opening sentence. In every presentation, how you start matters a lot. If you start shaking, because let me tell you the truth, yes, you will start with nervousness, but going down, you will pick up. Everybody picks up going down. But your starting statement matters a lot. If, for example, you don't master your introduction slide. You don't know what your introduction slide tell. In fact, you're coming to present on waste management, and your first slide you wrote what solid waste is all about, and you come and you forget the definition of solid waste. I can assure you the rest of your slides will be what? Useless. The rest of your presentation will be useless. Once you forget that your opening sentence, you just be weak. In fact, you'll be demoralized. That's why they say rehearse and learn your what? Opening sentence. But if you come and the first slide is in your head, you say your first slide even without looking at your slide, you've bought the confidence of your audience. Even you bought your own confidence, and you'll be shocked how you just flow naturally. Next one, check room layout. Always, it's part of you arranging your venue. Always know the room layout. Know where you're to stand, where you're to exit from, how you're to face your audience and everything. It's always good before every presentation. Go and look at the venue. Know the venue arrangements. Now, how to practice? How do I practice? I've known how to prepare my presentation. I've prepared the presentation. How do I practice? Deliver the talk and time it at home. In your house, even before this class, I sat down and I delivered this lecture to myself on the mirror, and I timed myself because I know the first section is 2 hours and the second section will be what? 1 hour. So I have 3 hours. I've already planned myself. Okay, I will move from year to year for the first 1 hour, year to year for the second 1 hour. So deliver the talk to yourself at home. You want to give a presentation, you know this presentation or your proposal will get, they'll give you 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Plan yourself. The first 1 minute will be my introduction. The next 30 seconds will be my aim and objective. Now, you know what people are interested in the proposal is how do you intend to do it to know if it's achievable. So you create more time for your methodology, and you create little time for question and answer, so that you know before you've made your presentation, you've done everything, and maybe they say your standing there is 10 minutes. You've used your first maybe 9 minutes and you leave 1 minute for question and answer. When people know they have just 1 minute to ask you question, it reduces your question. Hope you know that. So know how to plan yourself and time yourself. Use video recorder. At home, you can use video recorder. You can use your phone, record and watch yourself. Make sure you see you giving yourself your eye contact, because eye contact is very important. Write down speech and watch. Logical sequence. Follow logical sequence. Transitions. When practicing, don't practice and use long transition. You know what transition is. By the time you're moving from, maybe transition is just moving from one point to another. Practice your movement. How do I navigate from my aim to my methodology? How do I move from my methodology to my results and discussion? Know those ones. Visual and position. Know how you position yourself. Know your mannerism, the mannerism you give, your gestures and your hand movements. How to deliver. How do you deliver this presentation? 1, introduction. Preview statement. What and in what order? Next, your main idea. First, you introduce, you preview the statement, what you've introduced, in what and in what you introduce, and in what order do you want to present it. This is the part where you say, these are the outline. Then the next thing is your main idea or your aim, your sub idea, which are your objectives. To what benefit, which is the statement of problem. This is what we call statement of problem. To what benefit, the challenges, and what you summarize your presentation, which is summary and conclusion. Audience research and analysis. When researching your audience, know your audience what capability. Now, we said you must research your audience, you must know your audience. What are the things you need to know about your audience? 1, their capability. To what knowledge gap, to what extent of knowledge do your knowledge audience have? The knowledge of your audience. Am my audience secondary school student? Am my audience university student? Am my audience my colleague? Do they have the same knowledge band as I have? Are they experts in this field? Is it audience that are there to criticize, to correct, or to improve on my work, or audience that I just want to go educate on this thing because they don't know it? know the knowledge of your audience, know the capability of your audience, know the attitude of your audience, the attitude you are to present. Know the attitude you are to present. If, for example, I'm to talk to my colleagues, the attitude I'm to present will be different from the attitude I'm to present if I'm to present something to the principal officers of the university. These are my employers. You don't expect me to be talking to my employer and I'll say, Dr. Michael, come here, come here, come here, come here. No, 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 no. You understand? Or I want to give an example and I say, Dr. Michael, stand up. When you move here, you get the point. Notice, even in church sermons, when pastor is preaching and he wants to give an example, if the lead pastor is there, you don't see the other pastor calling the lead pastor to use as an example. That's attitude to present. The attitude you give. You invite me to your church, for example. This is your church, you are the lead pastor, and I'm preaching, and I want to give an example of maybe I'm preaching on David, Adam and Eve with the serpent, and I now drag the lead pastor who invited me. I've not seen that thing occur. I don't know. Have we ever experienced that? Please, we can just make one or two statements. Let me know we are together. Hello?
We're
Yes,
together,
sir.
sir.
We're together,
Yeah, we
sir.
are together.
We
We
are
are hearing
together.
you.
We are following.
Thank you.
We are
I've
enjoying
not
the
seen
lecture.
such happen. Thank you, thank you. So this attitude to your presenter, you need to know your audience. You're doing your proposal, maybe you're presenting your research, and you want to give an illustration. Then you now say, Dr. Zach, please don't be offended, come up. You've killed your presentation. This is someone who is there to listen and criticize your presentation. So you should know the attitude you give. What is available for your audience? What is available for your audience to take home with? You need to understand that, okay, my audience that are coming are my lecturers. They are going to be served drinks and maybe light refreshment. You don't need to start giving them long lectures for light refreshment. I'm just giving you an example of, like, for example, what is available. But if it's you're going for a conference where there's breakfast, there's lunch break, there's this, you should know how to spread out the kind of presentation you're giving. Oh, these persons won't be worried. They'll be well taken care of. But it's a presentation where, like church sermon, let's say a church presentation where everybody wakes up in the morning on Sunday and run to church without eating. And pastor start preaching very long sermon. We all sleep in church once the sermon becomes long. So you must know what is available for your audience. I know I'm not feeding my audience, so definitely you must manage time so that they can easily run back and assimilate. Know the category of your audience. Don't bug them with too much. That's what is available for your audience. Audience analysis. All these things I've said boils down to this audience analysis. You must know who is your audience, why are they your audience, how many, what knowledge do they have, what benefits will they gain from your presentation, what should be their opinion, what opinion do you think your audience hold about your presentation, how best to get their attention. How do you get their attention? If I'm to go and teach this presentation skill to primary school children, definitely I should go with a lot of toy where I'll be talking and if I'm teaching secondary school students, definitely I have to go with a lot of example, like debates example and all those stuff. So you should know how to capture your audience, their likes and their interests. Know the likes of your audience and their interests. If I'm to go and teach presentation skill to engineers or mechanic, I'm going to make sure I pick things that they know, pass, motor pass. If I want to give example, I give example with maybe motor injector. I give example with brake pad to capture their interest, because these are things they are interested in, things they like. Presentation organization 2, brainstorming and sorting. You must brainstorm. Even getting to analyze your audience is brainstorming. You must be disciplined. Doodling. You must outlining. You must outline your presentation. Storyboard. You must have a storyboard. You must have the title. There must be a time where you put story. Like I'm presenting now, I'll talk about pastor, I'll give story, give all those illustrations. You must incorporate all this into your presentation. Even if when you're presenting your project, you can even cite, okay, For example, while doing this research, something exciting happened. Maybe while trying to mix my acid with my base to get salt and water, I noticed this occurred and I kept it aside. Those things triggers your audience attention. Those are the part of the storyboard. You must have those things attached to your what? Presentation. Sub-summary junction. Objective, audience, prepare visuals, rehearse, and what? Practice. This is just a summary of all what I've been saying. Now, standard presentation pattern. Standard presentation pattern. The beginning. Introduce self-objective, where you introduce yourself. For example, most times I see seminars, people come and say, good day, my lecturers, good day, professors present, good day, doctors here present, and my colleague. You're somehow segregating your audience that way. If it's your academic, your research proposal. Now, you've greeted, you said, good day, my lecturers, good day, professors present, good day, doctors present. Now, how do you want your lecturer who is not a doctor or who is not a professor to feel you've somehow classified them in terms of hierarchy? Just know that is how you'll be what? Criticized based on hierarchy. But if you come in such presentation and you say, good morning, my lecturers and my fellow students, you've placed your lecturers equal. You've made the one who is not a professor feel like, oh, this person has appreciated me. This person acknowledged me. You see how you've managed to put your audience in two different categories. And you see you give a very nice presentation. But when you say, good day, the vice chancellor present, now the vice chancellor happens to be from your department. Is not there in the capacity of your vice chancellor, is there in the capacity of your what? Lecturer. And you start, good day, the vice chancellor highly present, good day, the center leader highly present. You are somehow spoiling that your presentation because you've classified them, you've given them a whole lot of accolade and respect. The one you did not mention his name will say, oh, this person did not mention my name. I had to wait for them. I go ask some serious question. You've set trap for yourself. But a situation where you come and you say, good day, my lecturers. You've made all of them your lecturers, which is right. It's not you being rude. You're not rude. They are your lecturers. They are there in the capacity of what? Your lecturers. Good day, my lecturers and my fellow students. Now you've given confidence to even the younger one there that, oh, he has acknowledged me. And you've played in the safe spot. So know yourself, how you introduce and your objective. Now, you're presenting and they say, wait, oh, like one of the last presentation, Prof was now like pointing at and said, do you know that icon monitors? And the lady said, sorry, sir, let me just inform you based on my experience. Now, she didn't do wrong, but I'm just trying to tell you, there's a way. What I'm trying to pitch here is there's a way you introduce things. Even if your lecturer or your audience is saying something that is totally off point, you don't just dismiss it by saying, no, you are wrong in this. Oh, noted. But in my own opinion, you see, you need to know the words you use. That is, in terms of your introduction, in my own opinion, or for the sake of this study, this is what note that is very vital when presenting. Introduction, the middle, key facts, know your key idea, key facts, analogs, benefits. At the end, conclusion, link conclusion to all objective. If my aim is to cook egusi soup, my objective is buying the egusi, going to the market, buying the egusi, preparing the kitchen, wash plates, pots, oil, fry, everything, and at the end is egusi. When I'm concluding, I will conclude by saying, oh, my journey to the market was successful. Egusi was purchased at the price I needed to, at the budgeted price. Coming back to the kitchen was, you see, I'm lining my conclusion to each of my what objective. I can't just come and say, finally, the egusi soup tastes nice and it's worth it. No, finally, the egusi soup was prepared. It tastes nice due to it tastes nice due to the fact that it was within okay, let me not use taste nice. It tastes nice and it's affordable due to the fact that everything purchased was within the budget. Now I've come to what procurement, objective number one, purchasing. Everything purchased was within the budget. I'm concluding, no, but I'm pointing out my objective. The kitchen was thoroughly cleaned, and the egusi soup also tastes nice because all kitchen utensils used were thoroughly cleaned and well placed. I've talked about objective number two, and I'm concluding. So always link your conclusion to your objective, the action, the desired action, the action desired, and the benefits. Alternative presentation pattern. Your presentation should be in a closed cycle. The end flows into the beginning. Your conclusion should flow to your what? Introduction. When you conclude, someone should be able to say, oh, this thing really tallied with the what? Introduction. And your introduction, they are not tallied. You start z zaga zaga zaga. If you look at this, at every point there's always a place where people for presentation, open cycle presentation, and this is a closed cycle presentation. Make sure your presentation is a closed cycle. Your introduction, your aim and your objective matches with your result, matches with your conclusion. Not you plan on achieving A, and at the end of the day, it was B and C that you achieved. They are open ends to question. Your presentation should be a closed cycle. Position, problem, possibilities, and proposal. You must know your position. You must know the problem you want to solve. You must know the possibilities attached to you solving that problem. Then you must propose. You must have a what? Proposal. What are you proposing? What are you suggesting? Now, choice of presentation title matters a lot. When you want to present, you must know your title. Multiple choice is one choice that gives many choices. Multiple choice is one choice that gives what? Many choices. Your topic, your title of your presentation must arrest and arouse attention. It must be apt. It must be in simple and unambiguous language. It must be concise and what? Logical. It must be straight to the point. Let me think of something. Okay, you are asked to synthesize nanoparticles from plant extracts. That's your topic. Synthesis of nanoparticles from plant extracts. Now, you can just write synthesis of silver nanoparticle using orange plants. Some other person might come to say, okay, using plant extracts. Some other person might come and say green synthesis of what? Silver nanoparticle. Now, the person that said green synthesis, we know anything green is what? Natural source. But and that person can come and say, oh, synthesis of silver nanoparticle using phytochemicals extracted from plants. That person is making it so ambiguous. People will now start asking, phytochemical extracted from plants. So which of the phytochemical do you want to use? You see how he has made this topic so broad. It's now a multiple choice. From just that topic, someone will now say, okay, why not just use only flavonoids? Multiple choice coming from just that one choice of what? Topic. So your topic should be short, precise, concise. In fact, your topic should be smart, simple, measurable, realistic, time bound, everything. It must be straight to the what? Point. That's what this part is saying. Your choice of presentation title. What to do in your introduction. Tell your audience your name, as in the slide. Introduce the subject. Explain why audience should listen. If you have time, give outline to your talk. Yes, for our academic purpose, let me do a presentation. Good day, my lecturers and my fellow students. My name is David Ike. I'm here to give a presentation on synthesis of iron nanoparticle, green synthesis of iron nanoparticle from plant extracts. That's me introducing myself. I've told you my name, I've told you what I'm there to do. I've introduced the subject, green synthesis. I've explained to you, my audience, what they should listen to, what they want to listen to, why they should listen to me is because I'm here to give what? A presentation. Now, the next thing, if I have time, I'll say this is the outline of my, or I just dive into what? My introduction, start talking about it. Not good day, my lecturers and my fellow students. Good day, professors present. Good day, director, center leader present. Standing on existing protocol. You are killing your research, your presentation, because you've greeted and you're not standing on existing protocol. Like most times, a lot of students, especially university students, they like to do that, standing on existing protocol. I'm here to give a seminar presentation on a seminar topic. No, you're talking too much. Good day, my lecturer. My name is David Chukwebuka Eke. I'm here to give a presentation on. You talk your topic. On. You say your topic. And that's all. Once you say your topic, we know it is seminar. What are we seated there for? Is it not seminar? We know it's seminar. So I want to give a seminar presentation titled, definitely whatever you are giving, the title is what, but I want to give you a seminar presentation on perfect. So know what to do in your introduction and know what to achieve. What do you intend to achieve in your introduction? Things you have to achieve in your introduction. One, you must get attention. By the time you start standing on the existing protocol, you lose the attention of your what? Audience. One, get the attention of your audience. Focus on the center idea. You want your audience, you want your introduction to be what? Focus on the center ideas. Present statement of problem. You must present your statement of problem. That's why inside the introduction, you have background of study, statement of problem. You must present what problem do you want to solve. That is what will attract people. And one thing I notice, statement of problem is, what is the problem on ground? Why do you want people to listen to you? It must be catchy. Your statement of problem must be catchy. Assume you is a business proposal, even when you are doing academic proposal. What statement, what problem will you say that will make me bring out my money and sponsor that your work, that your research? Always have that in the back of your mind when thinking of your what? Problem statement. What will I say to these people that will make them want to bring out their money to sponsor this research? That's why you must present a statement of what? Problem. Why should these people sit down and listen to what I want to say? It must be a catching problem. If there's no problem, nobody will sit back to listen. Your objectives. Link your audience. Your aim, these are things you intend to achieve with your introduction. No? You intend to what? Link your audience view to your idea. You have not asked your audience for their view, but you anticipated or your perceived audience view. You must link it to what? Your idea. Focus what is to come. You must be able, your introduction should be able to focus what is to come. What questions your audience should be able, will ask you. You should be able to anticipate it from your introduction. Take charge. Your introduction is aimed for you to what? Take charge of your presentation. Transit to your what? Body. Your introduction should transit to your body movement. It's not a door. If you give a door introduction, you see that you end up holding your hand. But if your introduction is interesting, you see that you even want to move, you want to point, you won't just fold your hand and stand like stick. Options for effective introduction. Use illustrations, real and hypothetical. Use analogs. Use relevant demonstrations, testimonial or quotations, a troubling statistics. Now, your statement of problem. Imagine I want to do statement of problem and I show someone in teaching hospital hanging his leg and I show a house where maybe he stays on top a river band where dump site. Okay, let me just say I show a house of someone staying. I show someone staying in a River Benue, at the bank of River Benue with all those refuse dump, and he built his house such that we stick. You know the way riverine area, riverine settlement, and all of a sudden I show him hanging his leg in the hospital. Now I've automatically told you that because of poor waste management, and look at where he's staying, Look at the river, the water he drinks. Nice in the hospital. Health challenge. Is a troubling statistics, is it not? Or you come and you quote something like, do you know, due to poor waste management, Nigeria has lost $30,000 billion on waste, improper management of plastic waste. You've triggered the attention. Everybody will like, wow, $30,000 billion that Nigeria lose, and everybody wants to listen. So make sure you use troubling statistics that will drag people's attention. A strong opinion and interesting observation. Do you know that so and so happened? Opinions and observation that will make people want to pick interest. Reference to occasions or group or events. You must reference occasions, group, or events. What do you do in your main body? In the main presentation, now you've introduced done your introduction. In the body of your presentation, develop your ideas. This is where you develop the idea you pitched earlier. This is where you present your idea. This is where you motivate your audience. So no, this is where you now tell us how you intend to do it. You motivate us through this methodology. This is what I will achieve. You hold the attention of your audience. Notice in your methodology, that's where everybody pays attention. When you start talking, I will do this, I'll do that, I will use AS machine. This is where you hold, and this is where you transit to your what? Conclusion. Now, what do you intend to achieve? One, illustrate what you intend to achieve in your main presentation, in the body of your presentation. One, illustrate suitable and real-life examples. You must be able to illustrate suitable and real-life examples. These are what you are to achieve. Two, case studies. This is where you cite case study. David et al. This et al. A lot. Case study to illustrate what? Applicability of that research. You want to use AS method. This is where you tell me that, oh, David have used AS and he got results. Ike have used AS and he got results. Mike has used AS and he got results. Communicate and carry people along. Your methodology should communicate and carry your audience along. Do not be lost in unnecessary details. You will not spend the whole time telling us how you washed and dry your sample. Those are unnecessary details. Illustrate uniqueness. And if, for example, everybody has used AAS, but now you want to use AAS, but this time around, you want to use it in combination with mass spectroscopy. That's a new, this is where you will now focus on the incorporation of mass spectroscopic into AAS, not killing us on Ebuka used AAS, it worked. This person, you are trying to incorporate mass spec. So you will not try to tell us, see, oh, the uniqueness of this thing is I'm bringing mass spec in, and with this mass spec, this and this will be achieved. So always illustrate uniqueness of your ideas. This is where you should dwell more, the uniqueness of your ideas. Give cost reduction benefits. Your benefits should be basically cost reduction. In every presentation, in every business proposal, people want to see how you can get great profit from little capital. Even in your presentation, how you want to achieve a very good innovative research within a short time frame, within what? The shortest time frame. For us in academic, our course is what? Time. How do you intend to achieve incorporating mass spec into your AAS for your nice project within the shortest little resource you have as capital? Not when you go up, you start saying, supervisor, how you want to help me financially? These are the things that we are interested in. Now, drive home your points. Make sure you drive home your what? Point, what you are trying to sell out. Option for effective body. Use illustrations, real and hypothetical illustrations. Use testimonials and quotations, testimonies from people. Use troubling statistics like we've earlier explained. Study cases, case studies to illustrate applicability. Concentrate on your objective. Use figure, graph, cartoons to explain your presentation. Give technical and economic benefits of your what? Ideas. What to do in your conclusion? What do you do in your conclusion? Review materials covered. Your conclusion is you go back and review, oh, Ebuka Eta did it, this person did it. Review what they did and how you intend to achieve, all you intend to achieve with what they've done. You review it. Present your main idea for the last time. You then present your main idea for the last time. Tell your audience
Please.
what they should do. Secure agreements. These are things you must do in your conclusion. You must secure what? Agreement. You thank your audience and you transit to question and what? Answer. Francis, do you have anything to say? Because you unmuted your mic. Okay. What to achieve in your conclusion? The thing you aim to achieve, you are to achieve in your conclusion. One, use apt quotations to conclude your point. Arouse interest in your ideas. You arouse interest of your listeners in your ideas. You create or stimulate the listener's desire. You move the listener to your desired action or to the desired action. You secure what? Agreement. Option for effective conclusion. Use cartoons. These are options, what you can use to get effective conclusion. Use cartoons showing the benefits. Describe solution benefits to your audience. Use words to stimulate the listener's desire. Ask for commitment to your solutions. State the discovery in your what? Presentation. Secure agreements. Thank your audience and transit to what? Question and answer. Now, planning your questions. Why, whom, what, how. Make sure when you're anticipating questions, anticipate questions of why, whom, why, your objectives. In your objectives, the questions that will definitely come in your objective part is always why. I want to do this. Why? Why? Then, in you anticipating your audience, whom are your audience? Who is going to ask you question? Who are the people that are going to ask you question? You must plan for it. Who questions are from your audience? Is it your fellow student that will ask you question? The way you plan to answer question of your fellow student different from the way you plan to answer question of your examiner. Different from the way you plan to answer question of your lecturer if it's an external exam. So you must know who is asking question. What? The question what will come from what? Your content. What did you finally achieve? What did you gain from doing this? Your methodology. What did you gain by adding this? Note that the what question will come from your what? Context. How will come from what? Your result. How? When you say this was achieved, definitely everybody will ask how. You understand? Once you're talking your result, the kind of questions you should be anticipating is the what? Question. This shows that this how anticipate for the what? Question. Now, handling questions. Handling questions. Suggest when to take questions. Don't allow people determine for you when to take what? Questions. If you're doing a presentation, you don't allow people determine when to what? Take questions for you. That's why seminar for academic seminars is always designed that at the end of your presentation, they ask you question. It's only when you are going off a wire. That's why you see people will now interrupt you and say, Ko, I don't understand. Please, just jump to your methodology and let us know where you have wrong introduction. Your introduction is becoming too boring. You see people anticipating, intergesting and asking you different questions, interrupting your presentation. To avoid interruption, if you make your introduction very nice, you go to your methodology, you see that you've programmed. Sometimes you may not be the one to, like in academic presentation, you don't have the right to say, don't ask me question until the end. But you can indirectly make us not to ask you question until the end. If you get your introduction very well, you get your methodology very well, you see that you grab the attention of all your lecturers, your audience. They are not going to ask you question until the end. That's when they'll not say, okay, any question for him, you not see us trying to brainstorm and get question for you. But if you don't do your introduction and all those ones very well, that is when you are talking about methodology. We say, see, This your statement of problem sef, we don't even understand it and we start asking question, we interrupt and we scatter your presentation. So know how to handle questions. Make sure your presentation push all questions to the last part. Repeat question for clarity. How do you intend to achieve it using AAS? You can say, okay, sir, thank you, sir. You are asking, how do I intend to achieve it using AAS? That's for clarity. You can throw back the question in a polite way. For what? Clarity. Acknowledge each question. Oh, thank you for your question. Acknowledge each question. Satisfy your questionnaire. Your questioner. Don't just answer to satisfy your questioner. The person asking you question, I'm the one asking you question, I'm a chemist, and maybe what you did is biology, and you just answered me to satisfy the biology people. You've not satisfied me. Answer me in such a way that even as a chemist, I will be what? Satisfied. Use words that I'm familiar with so that I will be very much satisfied. Use audience as resources. Nice. This one may not play a major role in your academic seminars, but when presenting seminars, use your audience as your resources. You want to cite example. Oh, my dear friend, can you please stand up? When you use your audience as your resources to cite example or to do some visual explanation, it makes it nice, but not the audience you are using. No, don't go and use the ones you are not supposed to use for your resource persons. Not, I say use audience for resources. You want to give example, you now ask Professor Chatu and Prof. Namonu to stand up. You, I did not ask you to do that. But if you use your classmate, even your classmate will remember that, oh, there's what I like, even as lecturers or as preachers, I don't know what we do, but anyway, you go when you use your audience as your resources to cite examples, mostly in church sermons, when pastor bring 2 or 3 people and cite example, those sermons stick more than when you just start saying, imagine a man comes into the house and say, but when he say, bro Timothy stand up, bro Isaac stand up. Now imagine bro Timothy moving to bro Isaac and bro Timothy now moves to bro Isaac. You are seeing it happen. It stays in your head. So use your audience as your resources. Make examples with your audience and with what you know your audience can easily remember or assimilate or are used to or are familiar with. Be calm and assertive. Don't be tense. Don't be too nervous. Be calm. Address issues, not person. Oh, Dr. David, anytime he come, they antagonize us. He's always asking too many questions. Then that day, Dr. David just asked you question. And the question I'm asking you is simple. Why do you want to do this? Instead of you telling me, sir, I want to do this, you now start, sir, my supervisor, Professor Shatu, said I should do it this way. This was what we said that you are now addressing me as a person, not even the situation, not the why. You understand? You start addressing me as a person, you've killed your presentation. Because definitely I'll be pissed off. And if you win me there, I'll look for a way to win you. And at the end of the day, instead of us having a peaceful presentation and learning, it will be tug of war. So learn to address issues, not person. Oh, Dr. Michael is always antagonizing person, and Dr. Michael stand up, you now give him this high attitude. In that talk, instead of you to just say, oh, sir, I think the reason why we did this was this. You now start by saying, when I discussed with my supervisor, Professor, because you know Professor Shatu is higher than Dr. Michael, Professor Shatu and Professor Lamy, they said, you're killing yourself because he's going to prepare when Professor Shatu and Professor Lamy will not save you. You are no longer addressing the issue, you are addressing the what? Person. Now, be friendly, firm, and fair. Be friendly, fair, and what? Fair. Handling nervousness. Like I said, anxiety is normal. Even me, I get anxious. Even the best of the best, even VC, he gets anxious. Anxiety grips him even when he wants to address us. Even when he wants to address the Senate, even when he's addressing his students, even going to class to teach, I get what? Nervous. But nervous will be what? Managed. There's no how you can take anxiety or nervousness out of any presentation. What it is, what we do to it, we manage it. You can't take it totally off, you manage it. It's something that is always there. One way is to manage nervousness. Know your material very well. If you know what you want to say very well, you'll be able to manage anxiety and nervousness. 2, know your audience. If, for example, before now, we had maybe a get together, or let's assume all of you here are my family members or my friends, or we graduated the same time from university, you will see that I'll be more free to talk to you. So know your audience. Try to create familiarity with your audience. If you want to present to let's say someone you encounter, like now we are having a class. If tomorrow you come for a presentation and you see me, you won't be as nervous as where we've never encountered before and you see me for the first time. Why? Because you've known your audience, you've known me, that I'm your lecturer. So that's the importance of knowing your audience. If possible, know the kind of audience, the people that are coming. Try to familiarize with 1 or 2 of your audience even before the presentation. That's why you see most preachers. I like using preachers, for example, because that's where most of this thing plays out. If you invite someone like, let's say, Pastor Oyedepo, founder of Winners Chapel, to your church, I assure you he's not going to come alone. True or false? True. He's going to come with like 12 or 10 of his members. Do you know why they like working with people? When you invite these guest ministers, do you know why they come with people? They come with some members, protocol, all those stuff. So that when they face this congregation, they are meeting for the first time to preach, there are familiar faces there for them. So those familiar faces gives them that morale, boosts their confidence. That's why you need to know your audience. If possible, create familiar audience. Invite friends. I'm having a presentation here. Please come. Buy ticket for them. If it's something that you have to buy ticket or gate fee, buy for them so that you have familiar audience. Because knowing your audience and being familiar with your audience help you handle what? Anxiety and nervousness. Know the facilities. You want to come and give a presentation, you are using PowerPoint slide. They'll project it and you don't know how to use the pointer. You will definitely be nervous. By the time they give you pointer and say, "Oga, take pointer, yeah, present." You're already used to next slide, please. Now they have given you pointer for you to be the one going to next slide. And you don't know how to use pointer. You get nervous. But if you know how to use the pointer, it boosts your confidence. You easily press your pointer. That's knowing your facility. Oh, you're coming to give a presentation and there's a big machine. They say, oh, you don't even know how to use the wireless mic. You put it here, you become nervous. But if you know how to use the facilities, nervousness will be handled. Follow your prepared outline. Oh, you've already prepared that you are going to preach on Daniel. You reached there because you saw maybe Professor Lamy, and you want to impress Professor Lamy. You now start talking about Solomon instead of Daniel. Definitely, at some point, you get nervous because you did not prepare for it. The way you prepared at home, use that same way to present. All what you prepared and you move from year to year, not because you see all Dr. David and you want to impress Dr. David, you now jump to this part. You just end up making yourself unnecessarily nervous. You won't be able to manage what? Anxiety when it sets in. Dress appropriately. For the ladies, if you wear something that is revealing your cleavage and you come out, you might have good confidence in yourself, but once someone just tell you, why are you wearing this? Nervousness, anxiety first will set in. Because depending on how the person says, if someone just tell you, if you wear dress and someone tell you, why, I love your dressing, I assure you, even when you are nervous, you're nervous. In fact, 10% of your nervousness will die off with that one compliment. So if you dress well, you get compliment. But if you dress bad and you get a rebuke will set in anxiety. You cannot be able to handle anxiety or nervousness when you're poorly dressed. That's why you have to dress well. Rehearse your presentation. If you have rehearsed multiple times and you're confident on what you've rehearsed, definitely you'll be able to handle what? Anxiety. Practice response question. As you're practicing at home, as you're rehearsing, write that question. Ask yourself, ask friends, write questions to friends to ask you. You'll be shocked. I assure you, 50% or 60% of the questions you drafted out yourself are the questions that your friends are the questions that or you drafted out yourself, or the questions your friends, all those people that were there when you were rehearsing ask you are the same questions your main audience are going to ask you. Arrange your visuals logically. Let your visuals be arranged logically, not the visual that is supposed to use for the conclusion, you now use it for introduction. Arrange your visuals logically. It will help you handle nervousness or anxiety. Confidence. Confidence has a formula, and the formula for confidence is this: show warmth and maintain eye contact. When you maintain eye contact, as I'm teaching now, if we all turn on our video and I'm looking at you in your eyes, even when you want to ask me question, even when I'm wrong, you be like, the way this guy dey look me, dey talk this thing, be like say correct. So have you not heard such statements coming from people, or have you not been in a position where you say, when someone looked at you boldly and lied to you and you believe, even though when you are not sure, but because of the boldness, the way the person is looking at you, maintaining eye contact, you just feel the person saying the truth. So eye contact is one formula for what? Confidence. Do not do not be glued to a spot. Don't stay at one spot. Don't stand and it's like we representing. Let me just go back so you see me. You now stand one corner and you start shaking. You move, go to your slide, point. When you want to move your pointer, sometimes take a step, press your pointer, take a step backward. It shows you are confident. It tells your listener that you have what? Confidence. Use hand gesture. You're trying to explain synthesis. Okay, this was added. All these hand gestures shows that you are what? Confidence. Use hand gesture naturally. Don't start using it compulsory. You want to say, good day, my lecturers, you are not doing your hand. Good day, my lecturers, that one I overdo. You understand? That at that point, you're overdoing it. But naturally, you know, there are some points you want to make. You just want to like, your hand will naturally move. Allow it to move at that point. Use hand gestures. Keep posture erect. Don't stand like some persons will just stand, set their tummy outward, stand erect and what? Relax. These are things that make people think you're confident. Use voice effectively, not good day my lecturers and my fellow students. I'm here to give a presentation on synthesis of nanoparticle. Introduction. Nanoparticles are particles. No, maintain a particular voice, maintain a particular tune. Don't drop your tune, and make sure your voice is audible. When you're using and when you present with an audible voice, even when you make mistake, they may not notice, because everybody is just intrigued, everybody just carried away by your voice. They won't even know because they just feel you're confident. But when your voice is going up and down, at that point your voice go down, it is telling your audience that at this point I don't know what I'm saying. Do not capitalize. What did he just say? Let me hear what he say. You won't fuck up now, you won't fuck up. But when your voice is steady and loud, they won't even know when you make mistake. So in presentation, know your voice is one part of your confidence formula. Do not speak in monotone. That's very low tone. Do not talk too fast. Do not talk too slow. Do not talk too loud. Don't shout. Don't talk as if you're fighting. Don't talk as if you're commanding children. Your voice should be just audible. Not too loud, not too slow, not too low, not too fast. We're back to anxiety again. Back to the man. At this point, I assure you, this man was not talking very low. Practice materials. 1. Types. Slides. Advantage of using slides. It brings color. It makes your presentation colorful. Can show scenes as well as what? Words. That's the advantage of using slide, PowerPoints. It shows what? Scenes as well as what? Word. You can put picture and word, short words to explain, and it just go. It is easy to change and to store. The disadvantage needs photographic skill. You must have good photographic skill. It needs special equipment for close-up. Can get out of sequence. Have to show with light. That's just the disadvantage of slide. There must be light for you to plug. You must plug your laptop. It needs laptop. It needs any mistake, your slide goes off, you can just be thrown off balance. Videos and films and videotape, actions and interest glitters. Their disadvantage are also there. Can't reverse. When if you're using tape for your presentation, like a recorded tape, you can't be doing reverse now. You can't rewind. You can't go back. You can't fast forward. They get outdated quickly. Expensive to make. It's expensive to make a video presentation. Imagine me pre-recording myself. I'll have to use download some video editors, enough data to upload it into the website where you now download with your data. So it's expensive, and this overhead makes easy to make overhead presentation. That's you standing, easy to make, simple to show, can put notes on board, can show with light can show with light on, can write on, professional quality, involves some expertise, can be boring and colorful. Now, flip charts. You know flip charts. These are things you use for presentation. Flip charts are easy to make, can be pinned on wall, can be pinned on wall or kept in front of the group, can be prepared ahead, can use to record information on the spot, do not need projector. Now, the disadvantage of flip charts are tend to worn out easily, can't use with large group. We know flip chart now, those paper that you can flip. How many of us know flip chart? Do we know flip charts? Anything we don't know, please. Can I get response? Do we know flip charts?
No, we don't know. We don't know.
No, sir.
I
Don't
know,
know
We know
flip
sir.
chart.
slides.
No idea, sir.
Slides are
I know, sir.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, I know, sir. Yeah, I know.
Okay, you know flip chart. Flip chart is
Yes,
just
sir. I
like,
know flip chart.
it's like cardboard papers. Cardboard paper clip together. Cardboard papers clip together. When you present first one, you flip it. You present the second one, you flip it. But they are
Okay.
called flip charts, standard white, like white cardboard paper clipped together. Those are flip charts. You can use it for presentations. Computer aid and multimedias are also used for what? Presentations. Now, ground rules in making visuals. Please, this class will continue by 1 again, because I'm taking today. Dr. Michael will come in tomorrow. I'm coming in today. I'm using today so that Dr. Michael can use tomorrow to teach PowerPoint presentation. So let me see. I don't want to be too fast, and so that we have what we talk about in our next 1 hour. So before we go to ground rules of making visuals, is there any questions? Let's use this little time to entertain question. This is 10:42, and we are to end by 11. So let's use the remaining minutes for entertaining question. When we come back in the next 1 hour, our next 1 hour, that's by 1, we'll continue from here. Ground rules in making visuals. So let's stop here. Let me entertain questions. Any questions so far? Hello? Please, everybody unmute your mic and ask question.
Hello, good morning, sir.
We have to go for break in the next
Good morning, sir.
20 minutes, less than 20 minutes from now. So ask
Good morning,
questions.
sir.
Morning.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Morning, Peter.
Yes, my question is there any way we can do without being as in anxiety and this nervousness? Is there any way we can do it without it?
That's what I'm saying. Anxiety and nervousness are part of presentation. You can't take it away. It can't be taken away. It can only be handled. That's why I didn't teach you how to go do away with anxiety. I only taught you how to manage anxiety and nervousness. It's there, it's natural. Even in approaching a lady, you get anxious, you get nervous, but you handle it. True or false? True. Akbar, your question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, mine is not a direct question, but let of contribution to what you have just said from the question that was just asked. And when I started having a audience presentation, uh, just like you said, experience, the nervousness sets in. But with time, and I was able to overcome. But even if after the past 10 to 15 years, nervousness must surely set in immediately you mount a stage, irrespective of anything. Just like you said, managing it, having the right audience in mind who you are going to talk to will really help in the management.
Thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. Please, more contributions and questions.
Please, I want to, let's pass it to that. I want to ask a question concerning, like, you were stressing the fact concerning visuals and visual. I study statistics. So whenever we're doing our presentations, they don't like seeing visuals per se. They want it to be, if you just look you shouldn't have the face of visuals. When you are putting it, they will say you should remove all those things. So I don't know. Is this what you're saying? Is it a general thing or specifically for certain discipline?
Okay, you said you studied statistics. Now, if
Yes.
you look at the slides here now, you see the types of visuals. When we say visuals, I assure you, for statistics, they don't want you to start writing table 1, 2, 3 numbers. What they want to see is graph, bar charts, pie charts, Gantt charts. You understand? All those your statistical tools. You use graph.
Yes.
Those graphs are visuals. You understand? If you're doing a
Okay.
presentation
Must
that
be
is
pictures.
statistically inclined, if you're doing a presentation that is statistically inclined, the kind of visuals you are expected to show are graph, bar charts, pie charts, flow charts, Gantt charts. But if I'm doing a presentation on health, where I can't present, except I am talking about where if there are statistical values like population, I can represent population in terms of graph and bar chart and pie chart. But I'm talking about disease effects. Let's say I'm talking about sore throat. That's injury on the throat. Definitely, I don't need to start writing the meaning of sore throat. I can just show a picture of a sore throat, a swollen throat with injury. That's the other part of the visual I'm talking about. Did I answer your question?
Yes, I understand. I understand.
Yes. So the visuals we're talking about, instead of writing and bringing many figures, things that will confuse people, a graph can just represent, you want to talk about population growth with production of rice. A graph or a pie chart will just show rice population at the y-axis, rice at the x-axis, and we just see one long line going that as growth population is increasing, rice production is increasing. That's okay. Than you telling us in 2009, rice was 2 gram of rice was produced and population was this. In 2000, it's become boring. Not everybody will get that explanation. So that's the importance of visual. That's where visual comes into play.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Please, we are still open for more questions.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning. I just want
Good
to
morning.
add to your said. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, Stephen. Morning, Victor. Please, can we take Victor first? Victor, can you talk first? Then we'll go to Stephen before Shade.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Victor, take the lead.
Okay, thank you, sir. I want to ask, if, for example, you are making a presentation and questions are coming from maybe 3 or 4 persons at the same time, how will you manage such situation?
Okay, now, it all depends on you. That's why they said you should suggest where question will come. If it's a presentation like this, our class presentation, If you notice, I gave room for question. At this point, I had to stop and say, ask what? Questions. And now, somehow, Victor wanted talking. Stephen was still trying to talk. Shade was also trying to talk because these three mics, my cursor, the mic indication was showing that this three person wants to talk. And I took charge and said, Victor, talk first. So you, the presenter, you have to take charge of your presentation. You determine who talks first and who you answer first. You can decide to say, okay, please, you say it in a polite way. Please, can we kindly hear Victor before Shade, before Stephen? And when Victor speaks, you can choose to answer Victor immediately or say, okay, let me hear Shade's own comments and Stephen's own comment before addressing all comments. You are the presenter, you do it. Now, for academic purpose, like you come for your proposal presentation, you may not have the power because we are your lecturers. We are there to antagonize you. Someone can just raise up hand. You don't have power to say, sir, wait, let me finish my presentation. How do you do it? Your presentation controls your audience. If you start by giving a very fine and exciting and interesting, intriguing introduction, and you drag our attention with your presentation, I assure you, we won't even have time to ask questions because all our attention is glued on you. We'll be waiting, anticipating to hear your next statement. So until you stop and say questions, we won't be able to ask questions. So that is where managing your introduction, your presentation comes into play. I hope this answered your question, Victor.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Oh yeah, let's hear from Stephen before Shade.
Okay, sir. Once again.
Mute your mic. Mute your mic. Ready to mute your mic.
What's the last?
Stephen, we can't hear you. Can you be audible?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes, I said I would like to speak regarding the question about visuals. You know, during the presentation, when my other colleague asked about visuals, he was in statistics and their presentation required from what you said. Adding to what you gave us earlier, I would like him to understand that you make clear to us that we need to know our audience. We need to know our audience. If you know your audience, how you present to children, different from how you present to professionals, how you present to technicians. So if you know your audience, you know if you have to come with only pictorial presentation or your graph and slides. So just contribution.
Okay, thank you. Shade, can we hear from you now?
Yeah, so my question is that like seminar must have recommendation.
Seminar?
Yeah.
No, depending. Is it called seminar or your proposal or your exit seminar? You should know the particular seminar. That is knowing your presentation. If, for example, you're doing a course seminar and I give you a topic, I say go and present on synthesis of nanoparticle. Now, I'm asking you to go and teach. Go and teach. Come and teach us a synthesis of nanoparticle. So you come and teach us straightly. It won't have aim and objective. It won't have methodology. It's a course seminar. But if I ask you to come and present your research proposal, your research proposal will come with aim and objective, but it won't come with recommendation because you have not done the research. Then if you are doing an exit seminar, this is where you have done your research. You want to present to us what you have done. Tell them there must be a recommendation. And in fact, where I graduated from is not just recommendation, even contribution to knowledge. You now cite your contribution to knowledge, what you've contributed to knowledge.
Okay, sir.
So you should know the presentation. The type of presentation you are to do will determine if there are recommendation or not.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Sydney Benga.
Okay, good morning, Doc.
Morning.
Yes, so when you were talking about what we should do in our conclusion, you were talking about drawing agreement from the audience. How do we go about that? Do we ask them questions that they agree with what we presented?
No, when I say drawing agreement, if If, for example, I want to present a business plan, is a business presentation. My boss in the office tell me to go and pitch our business plan. And that business plan is to get a contract from that other company. Them accepting to sign the contract is me drawing agreement with them. Now, for the academic area, your conclusion, if at the end of your conclusion, all hands are up to ask you question, and what your lecturers are saying is, you can't achieve this, you've not drawn agreement. You get me? Your conclusion should be something that, as you're saying it, everybody is shaking their head like, yes, yes, that is agreement. Agreement doesn't mean paper statements of, but your audience accepting what you have presented is agreement. Just like church, you pastor preaching, if the pastor Simon, when Pastor Simon draws agreement with you, is that part where you start shaking your head, where you start showing this gesture. For example, if you preach on repentance, where you start crying and evaluating your life and what Christ have to say, that is, he has drawn agreement with you. So that's the part of drawn agreement. The part where at the end of your conclusion, everything aligns with your objective, everything flowed well, and you see your lecturers nodding head to say, yeah, nice presentation, you've drawn agreement. I hope that answered your question, Benga.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay, hope I got the name well. Is it Banga or Benga?
Bang bang.
Okay, Bang Bang. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bang Bang. Thank you. Sydney. Okay, Peter. Peter Blessing. Olawumi Peter Blessing. Olawuni Peter Blessing.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Yes, sir. Please, I have a question to ask, sir. If in the course of presentation, because this is because I was about to say now, have happened to me when I was presenting. So in physical presentation where lecturers are there, the professor are there. So what I presented, the lecturer was done like against what I presented, that okay, this is not what it should be. And due to my own research, it told me that this is how it is, but the lecturer was like, no, this is not how it should be. So, and he was trying to ask me a question, but he was against what I presented, that no, that is not how it's supposed to be. So in that situation, how can a presenter, someone that is presenting, how can he or she handle that kind of thing with the lecturer? So that there will be no agreement, because that it was like I was trying to argue with him. So some students out there should just accept it like that and just leave the stage.
Okay, I understand you now. If I was in that situation, I think I would, if I was there when that argument went on, I'll be able to give you 100% answer to this question. But I'll just give you a general answer. First, I don't want to like make you feel bad. I don't want to put the blame on you. I don't want to put the blame on the lecturer. I'll just start with one. If your presentation was good, a good presentation captures the interest of the audience. You understand? I don't know what transpired, the exact thing the lecturer was arguing about. But if you did your presentation very well, you did your work very well, there won't be arguments. If your introduction aligns with your objective and your objective aligns with your results and your result aligns with your conclusion, nobody will doubt you. And if you were presenting it with confidence, that was why I talked about presenting with confidence, your own self. You plan yourself. You talk with boldness, with a loud, not over loud, with an audible tone. You do not show fear. You use the confident formula. Even when you are saying rubbish, everybody be confident with you. Then how you accept it? Oh, I don't think this can work. Oh, thank you very much, sir. That's a good observation. In terms of the research, I did it this way, and this was what I observed, and this was what was observed. We did you just do was, let's say, triplicate samples were taken, and each of the average of them was this. This was the result gotten. This was done 3 times to avoid errors or for precision and accuracy. And you're stating facts, and you say, sir, this work, the observation from this work is not quite different from the observation of Unamonu Eta, Michael Yorumba Eta. You see, you've somehow knocked off that argument and you've drawn your what? Agreement. Maybe all through your presentation, you didn't cite anybody that have done it. But if there's an argument, that's why we talk about citing, fact finding, using facts. We said you should leverage on what? Facts, on previous works. You have to leverage on it. Leverage on facts and what? Evidence and results. We say your presentation should be result oriented. If I'm presenting on production of Bonvita, not from cocoa, but from let's say production of Coke from Bonvita, and you were wondering, how can this guy produce Coke from Bonvita? And I tell you that, oh, do you know that Peter Eta in 2009 produced Nescafe from produced Fanta from Bonvita? Do you know that this person produced this from this? Definitely, you won't argue with me. You won't tell me I can't produce Coke because I've given you instances of where people have done it. So I think what happened in your presentation lacked result orientation. It lacked facts. And that was why the person argued with you. The lecturer argued with you. But a situation where the person is just being too antagonistic, well noted, sir. You don't have to argue too much with your superior.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Any other question? Okay, it's already past 11, so we'll take our break till 1. If I'm not mistaken, this class was to run from 9 to 11, is it not? Please, can I get a response?
Yes, sir. 9 to
Yes,
11.
sir. Yes, sir. You're right.
Okay,
Right,
so
sir.
we'll come back again by 1. We'll come back again by 1. So see you by 1 when we conclude.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much, sir. Thank you, Doc.
Okay.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.